welcome to Clay's Couch. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Clay's Couch here. I'm your host, Clay D, the one and only, coming at you the best way I know how. And I'm glad to be joined here tonight by the wonderful Aminah Thompson, who is a candidate for Clerk of Superior Court in Durham, North Carolina, Durham County, North Carolina. Thank you for joining the virtual couch tonight, Aminah.
Yes, Clay, thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yes, same here as well. And as you can see, I'm all decked out in your gear from the mask all the way down to the t-shirt.
I love it. I love it. I love that support.
Yep, and it's evident in your background as well. You got your yard sign up there. So this whole episode tonight is really dedicated in support for you, Aminah. So I'm gonna basically just gonna be doing some discovery and looking into why you're running for this office overall, and bring the support over to your way. So for those who are out in Durham County who are listening to this tonight and who will be listening to this tomorrow, tell the audience why you're seeking this office, Aminah.
I'm seeking this office for multiple reasons. First and foremost, it's my public service is my passion. I've been a magistrate here in Durham for 13 years, really on the front lines, and I really appreciate being able to lead and serve in the community and really have found a place where I can make a difference. So, being that I've worked so closely with the clerk's office for so many years, I've been able to really see where there are opportunities for improvement in our court system. And so I'm excited to take on this next step in my journey, kind of a public service, and really take the courthouse in Durham to a new level of accessibility and innovation, and really just, focus on the things that are important to the lives and the legacies of our citizens.
That's great. That's wonderful to hear. Now, Aminah, how long have you been working in the legal field? If you can tell the audience.
So I've been in the legal field. I graduated from law school. It makes me feel like I won't tell you when I graduated from law school, but I've been in the legal field for about 15 years. I practiced law for a short period of time, and then I went right into being on the bench. So I did my undergrad at Duke. I went to Chapel Hill for law school. And then I, pretty much went right into public service. And so I've been doing, like I said, I've been a magistrate in Durham here for 13 years.
Wow, so you are definitely homegrown, all that sense. Now, did you grow up in Durham, Aminah?
I didn't. I was born in Greenville, South Carolina.
Okay.
That's where my dad is from. He was an educator, a civil rights activist,
Wow.
Really a social justice advocate. And so at a very young age, we actually moved up to Massachusetts and to Kansas, where he got his education, and then worked really instrumentally in those colleges and universities. So people always ask me if my family is military, and I always tell them, no, it's education. So I moved around, and then again, I moved here for my education, and came here in '99.
Okay. So Duke University brought you over to Durham to begin with. Is that safe to
That's
say?
right. That's right.
Okay.
Go Blue W. You see, I have on my Duke Blue.
Yeah. So already winning the ACC tournaments.
We're not going to talk about that.
Hey, I'm not a hater. So we don't want to dissuade any potential voters as well.
Right, exactly. I also went to Chapel Hill, so.
Oh, okay. So you definitely are house divided within you. For sure, definitely. So just overall, I mean, in the legal realm and such, what was it that made you spoke about your family growing up, obviously your father being a civil rights activist and an educator, but what was it about law that drew you? What made you want to become a lawyer, or at least in the legal field? You can explain.
It's interesting you say that, because I actually never really wanted to practice law, per se, but I knew that going to law school and getting that legal education, see, law school is more about a way of thinking. You know, it teaches you a
Yeah.
way of thinking and a way of analyzing. And so that's really the foundation that I wanted. I knew with that knowledge and that background that I could do anything. You know, I knew that I had a passion to be active in my community and, you know, be the change. And so I thought that that was a great way, just that background and that knowledge, to be able to do anything really.
Wow, that's great for sure. Now, when you first began with the magistrate's office, did you imagine that you would still be there to this day? Did you ever see yourself running for office, or especially this particular office when you first began?
So I had no idea that I would be at the magistrate's office this long. But when I started, I really fell in love with serving the people. And, you know, I would start to see people in the community that appeared in front of me, and they would tell me, you know, you didn't find for me, but I appeared in front of you and you were respectful, or you know, pointed me toward a resource that I needed. So when I started hearing that type of community feedback about, you know, how I was really making a difference to actual citizens, that made me, you know, love it that much more. And so that's essentially why I've stayed so long. And I never imagined that I would run for clerk of court. I did want to be a judge. I did, you
Yeah,
know, district court judge, superior court judge. That's kind of what I thought about. Um, but working within the magistrate's office and working so closely with the clerk's office, I really found a lot of, you know, places in the clerk's office where I felt like I could, you know, make a difference.
wonderful. Now, you mentioned judge. I know we're speaking, we're talking specifically about Clerk of Superior Court, but would you be interested in running for judge or seeking a position on a bench down the road, maybe eventually?
Well, I'll say this, first of all, about the clerk, because a lot of people don't know this. The clerk is a judge over wills, estates, probate, name changes, adoptions. You know, the clerk does have a function as a judge. So
That is true.
I definitely don't want to discount that, because that is, you know, one of the essential functions of the clerk that really, especially when we're talking about those land issues, really affect our lives and legacies. So I want to highlight that.
Definitely.
Um, but yeah, I wouldn't mind being the second Black woman on the Supreme Court.
Okay, okay. That's not, hey, there's nothing wrong with that. Following behind, obviously, our current U.S. Senate candidate, Sherry Beasley. So, not that company to follow behind for sure. But,
Oh, I meant the Supreme Court of the United States,
excuse me,
but
excuse me, Connie Jackson. Yes.
no, but I can start with North Carolina. That makes sense.
Yep. Yep. That, hey, Supreme Court, nothing wrong with that either. I mean, obviously, this is a good pipeline, and yeah, I think you'll be in good prime position for that. Whether
In
it's
all
statewide,
honesty, that was, you know, when I was very, very young, I always said that that's what I wanted to do. You know, I wanted to be the first Black woman on the Supreme Court. And it looks like I won't make that one, but, you know, it may come full circle.
yeah, yeah, you never know. I think North Carolina Supreme Court and United States Supreme Court can serve. You can serve well in either capacity. So I'm definitely confident in saying that. But just overall, obviously, criminal justice reform is been big issue for the better part of the last several years and such. And just given the capacity of this position, you spoke on it a little earlier. Where do you feel you can make the most impact as much as you can from the Clerk of Superior Court?
So the clerk doesn't have many functions as far as the criminal justice system, but there are a lot of things that I can do as the clerk to improve the accessibility in the courthouse, the resources that are available. For instance, I want to put a law library and resource center in the courthouse where attorneys, citizens, you know, everybody, because I've heard from everybody, really attorneys, you know, pro se litigants who need a resource center, who need whether it's printing out something quickly or looking something up or having help filling out a form. So that's one of the main things that I think will help everybody in the court system, including the criminal justice system, is that access to resources. So that's the main thing. Also, there are a lot of things dealing with the accountability of the court system that I want to look at. So the court system in general, like time to disposition and the integrity of the actual case files themselves. All of these things, there are a lot of moving pieces to the system, and so there are a lot of things as far as the administration and the record keeping that I really want to get into in order to improve the system as a whole.
Wow. Yeah. It's amazing that you bring that up, Aminah, because oftentimes when we talk about the legal system and even how long it can take for certain court cases to come, we don't really often look at how important the court's position is. We obviously, because it's not technically the traditional judge on the bench or anything like that, we kind of highlight, or we just kind of gloss over the importance of the clerk's positions, but it's an important process for sure. So just given that, do you have is there a particular mentor or anyone that's kind of giving you guidance or that you look up to or that serves as inspiration, even as you're seeking office right now, whether they're present right now or just someone from a long time ago? Where do you draw your inspiration just in this whole journey on this campaign or even in your career presently?
Well, the first person I will definitely mention is my father. And sadly, he passed away in 2020. And so that has been really a hard loss, but it has also really inspired me kind of to take on the torch because, as I mentioned, he was an activist, an advocate, an educator. And so I hear him in my mind all the time, kind of helping me to make decisions and to keep me steadfast and moving toward this goal. And I have to say that somebody else who is inspiring me now is my son. Yeah. I have a 2-year-old son, Josiah, and he is, a little Black boy in America. And so I don't have to tell you what that means and the importance of him having a village and then the importance of, the system being better for him. So, so he can have a chance. So that's, those are by far my greatest inspirations.
Right. That's wonderful to hear, Mina, for sure. As far as just since you've announced that you were running for this office, how has the word on the street been? How has the support been just from your perspective, just overall from your sorority? I know you're an AKA for those who may want to know the information and overall just in the legal community as well. But how has the reception just been with you running in general from your friends, family, etc.?
It's been fantastic. It's been really, really fantastic. And I cannot thank my friends, my family, my supporters, you enough, because campaigning is not easy.
Yeah.
So it takes kind of, that encouragement and those donations and people showing that they support me really help to keep me going. So it's been wonderful. Not only my sorors, but the entire Divine Nine, has really shown their support. I'm in a few different, organizations, serve on different boards, my Duke Black alumni family. So a lot of people have really rallied around me, and it's been great.
That's awesome to hear for sure. Now, just given all of that, obviously, just tell folks when the primary date is, and just tell folks how, in general, they could support you in the campaign as well.
All right. So early voting starts on April 28th. The primary election is on May 17th. And so it's the big one, even though it's the primary, that is really where I need the support at early voting and on that election day on May 17th. And so the way to support is to, you can visit my website, sign up to volunteer, definitely donate. And also, if you're in Durham, vote. Tell your friends to vote. Tell your cousins, your uncles, your family, everybody. This is so, so, so important. We have to pay more attention to these local races. The clerk and the judges, these are the people that really affect your daily life. So you got to vote May 17th. That's the way to support. My website is thompsonforjustice.com.
Absolutely. Yep. And as you can see on the graphic, she's been endorsed by Run for Something 2022 for the Clerk of Superior Court over here in Durham County, North Carolina. And how can they follow you on social media, Aminah?
On Instagram, Thompson for Justice. On Facebook, Aminah Thompson for Clerk of Superior Court. So Thompson for Justice. And my website also, Thompson for Justice. If you can remember that, you can find me.
That's good. That's good for sure. But yeah, this is definitely important, folks, for those who live in Durham especially. This is where the hard ass comes in from my parts. Hard ask, not hard ask for those who know. Hard ask. So it's important to make sure you're registered to vote. Well, this is my show, so I can be partisan if I want to. So, but yeah, make sure you register to vote. Make sure you vote in May. The primary is not in March. It's in May, as Aminah just said. Make sure you get a friend, neighbor, family, foe, church member, whoever it might be. As long as they're registered, make sure that they vote. This is not an election or a primary to sit out of at all. And there's plenty more races aside from the congressional races or anything like that. But judicial races are very important. They don't get the coverage that they should. And I know that from working in the political space for a long time. I've worked on district attorneys races in the past, for sure. I mean, for full disclosure, I used to want to be an attorney myself. So the legal world still resonates with me to a degree. I just didn't finish law school, but that's another story for another Clay's Couch topic day.
It's not too late, Clay.
We'll see. We'll see. I might get re-inspired. We'll see. But yes, judicial races are very important for obviously to help ensure that we have a equitable and efficient justice system. So do donate to Aminah today, folks. Just go follow her on Instagram, Facebook, and go on the website, thompsonforjustice.com. As you can see, there's a QR code. Take a picture of that and give. Just give. Campaigns don't run on air, and it takes every dime for operation, support, this nice graphic here it even goes to the shirt that I'm wearing, the mask that I wore at the beginning of this interview. It all matters. It all matters, and it helps with educating more and more constituents out there about who Aminah is and what she can do in this capacity. But that should do it for this evening, Aminah. Thank you for joining me here on the virtual couch. You know you have my support, and we're going to help you get over the finish line and win this election so you can occupy that seat for sure.
Thank you so much for having me, Clay. I look forward to seeing you all soon. Don't forget to go to my website, thompsonforjustice.com.
All right, folks. That is it for now. As you can see, definitely go on to www.thompsonforjustice.com. Check out Aminah's page, especially if you are in Durham County for sure, or if you live outside of Durham County and you're just a generous donor tonight. Definitely do that. But thank you for joining me here tonight on Clay's Couch for this first half an hour. We'll be back in the next half an hour with a special guest, Indy Felder, CEO of Beauties and Brains, right after this. All right.